Hello my friends, before starting our communication today, I return to the previous video, where we showed you how to immigrate to Canada for free, for $0. We have found that many do not fully follow the video. We strongly advise you to do so, to avoid processing delays caused by minor negligence during your request. And these delays can range from 1 to 3 years depending on the person. Follow the videos until the end to avoid these delays and travel sooner. Today, we will see how to make an effective Canadian CV, and above all editable end times. That is, you can modify the CV as many times as you want. Because the CV is already designed, and you can just modify it as many times as you want, according to changes in your work experiences, according to the evolution of your language levels, or according to any changes caused by any other experience in life. You know that the Canadian CV, for those who are thinking of immigrating to Canada, is different from the European, American, or African CV. Good to make a good Canadian CV, you come to Google here, you type Canadian CV. There are false links, you have to click on the correct one. 2p you type Canadian CV as you can see, and you hit enter on your keyboard, or you click here on search. This page will open. Take a good look at what we're going to do. Do not click on any link, you need the original link, the link that will not mislead you. And no fraudulent links. Consider subscribing and liking the video for its SEO, that's what encourages us in this work that we offer you for free, for which many spend thousands of dollars. You come down here. Look closely at this. Look closely at the logo because that's where you have to click. Government of Quebec. Write a curriculum vitae. Encourage us in this paid work that we offer you for free, by liking the video for its SEO, and by subscribing. The price for CV coaching plus job interview normally costs $495 with us. We offer them to you free of charge. Encourage us in this decision. And as we have already said, we receive news of new immigration programs from the Canadian government, and updates of already existing immigration programs. Subscribe directly to receive them. You click on it, you will arrive on this page. Quebec is a Canadian province. This is how resumes are in Canada. You will arrive on this page. You see there, advice for writing your CV. Type of CV. Section that a CV should continue. Ask for help writing your CV. I don't want to dwell on the site, but I want to tell you 2 main things, and these 2 things are very important, and I'll give you a tip after that. The first thing I will tell you, there are 2 types of CV for the Canadian CV. And I know that depending on your background, each of you will end up on one of these 2 types of CV. There is the chronological CV and there is the functional or skill-based CV. The chronological CV is what a CV. The chronological CV is a CV for people who have had regular career progression. That is to say, for people who have not had periods of unemployment, for people who have not had periods of long professional training, for people who have always worked and in their field of expertise. For people who have not worked in various fields. They work in this field today, 2 years later they work in another field, different from the previous one, because they are looking for work. They want to work, they don't want to be unemployed, they don't want to stay at home and do nothing. The chronological CV is not for those. The chronological CV is for those who have always had a job, constantly, and in the same field of activity. For those who have still not had a job consistently, and who have always been obliged to exercise different types of employment, sometimes working in a field of activity which has nothing to do with their initial skills, because needs must be met. What is good for them is the CV by skill. That's why, you'll see here, I'm not going to read all that, you'll read when you get there, I'll read what's interesting for you. Here are some cases where the chronological CV should be avoided. Your career path includes frequent job changes or long periods of unemployment that you may have difficulty explaining. In short, avoid chronological CVs in this case. You don't want to place too much emphasis on the last job you held. Perhaps the last job you held was one that had nothing to do with your profession. The link between your old work experiences and your new professional objective is difficult to establish. It could happen. In this case, avoid the chronological CV. The chronological CV, as I said, is for those who have always worked constantly, in an almost constant field of activity. If this is not your case, opt for the skills CV. You will see that we will tell you here what the skills CV consists of. Here are cases where it may be interesting to choose a functional or skill-based CV. You have little or never worked. There are people who have worked little for one reason or another. You have little or never worked. You have held several jobs that have not. No links between them. You wish. Insist on talents that you have never highlighted in a job. There are people who are accountants, for example, and who have never worked as an accountant, either because they cannot find not work in this field of activity, or because they found this or that other profession financially more attractive. In this case, it is a CV per skill or function that they must have. This is why it says here, you want to emphasize the talents that you have never highlighted in a job. You are talented in accounting, for example, you have a love of numbers, you have ease with figures, but in a 10-year career, for example, you have only used this skill for maybe 1 or 2 years. You want to highlight transferable skills in a functional area, which has little relation to your past experiences. Yes, there are people who do 6 months or a year of training in this or that field to be able to migrate to this field. Encourage us in this paid work that we offer you for free, by liking the video for its SEO, and by subscribing. The price for CV coaching plus job interview normally costs $495 with us for 5 sessions. We offer them to you free of charge. Encourage us in this decision. This sentence explains the case above to us. You want. Highlight transferable skills in a functional area that has little relation to your past experiences. There are people who do a 1-year training course in cybersecurity to move into IT. This has little to do with their experiences, because in reality, they are not computer scientists. In this case, you need a CV by skill or functional. Here we tell you how to make each of these CVs. I'm not going to read it so the video doesn't take too long. There are also mixed CVs. We say, you use the mixed CV if you have changed jobs often, or if you have a lot of experience in a field, but you have worked for several employers. You have still been in the same field of expertise, but for several employers. In this case, you use the mixed CV. Here you will see the sections that a CV must contain. Name, your full address, your career objective, your training or studies, your skills related to the job for which you are applying. List the skills that make you the right person for the position you are applying for. List the jobs you have held, specifying for each additional information. Centers of interest or activity, references. And now we're going to get to the main thing. This is what allows you to have a CV that you can modify 1,000 times, as the title says. We're going to go here. Here you see CV template to download. A chronological CV template, a CV template by skill. You click here on chronological CV template. It's a document. We open the document. That means you can edit it 20 times. All you have to do is download it and save it to your computer or smartphone. You only change when you want, depending on the job you are applying for, and as your skills evolve. It is a Canadian CV in Word document, a Canadian chronological CV in Word document. You only change as you want, once you have it. For example, you come here, you put your name, your address, your phone number, your email, languages, software, here, work experience. Here, for example, she is an administrative assistant. You just change that, you put on what you are. Here it's 2004 to 2017. You just change that, you put the year you want. Here, the company, you change, you put your company. Here these are the functions, the tasks, you change, you put the tasks that you have carried out. Now, from 2003 to 2004, you change, you put the year that suits you. You put the craft, you just take that. You modify quietly, it gives you a CV. And you can change it as many times as you want. Once you edit it, you always keep it in Word. Even if you send the PDF to the employer, you always keep a Word that you can still modify whenever you want. If we come back here, we have here a CV template by Skills. We click on it to download it. And you do the same thing. You can change it whenever you want, as many times as you want. So here, we have given you the possibility of having an editable Canadian CV. Once you have that, you don't have no need to look at a CV anywhere, because you can change it at any time. You choose according to your career, if it is a chronological CV that you need or whether it is a skills or functional CV. I explained to you what the need to have a chronological CV, or a CV by competence or functional. So here, my friends, are 2 ways for you to have a Canadian CV, which you can use for life. Consider subscribing. As I said to you, we are connected and we are directly informed for any news and updates on the Canadian immigration program. Subscribe and you will have more good things for anyone who wants to immigrate to Canada. My friends, stay connected to InfoMag, subscribe, like the video, so that it is referenced. This encourages us to make these offers available to you, which normally require payment. Today's deal costs between $400 and $500. Like the video and subscribe to encourage us to always give you free what costs money. My friends, I wish you all a good day.